Okay, welcome back to another episode of the Sledder Cast podcast, where once again we are still here at the Utah Snowmobile Show in Sandy, Utah. We're kind of winding things down. We have a few hours left of the show. There's still people here. That's good.
Yeah, it's definitely slowing down though.
Yeah, it'll slow down just like all of them do. I'm Trevor Erickson, host of the program. We've got Clayton Krebs here with us.
What's up?
If you're not familiar with Clayton, he's got his company on his chest right there. So he's the owner of Oxbo. They're just right back behind us here in a booth. We see these guys all over the place. They're not too far from us. You guys are in. You told me you're in Utah.
Yeah, Payson.
Payson, that's right.
Yep.
Just down in Payson. So
Yeah, this is our hometown
this
here.
is the
home show.
We're on his home turf right now. So we're gonna get into the story of Oxbow and how it came to be, my experience, and from what I've seen from kind of being on the outside is nothing, and then all of a sudden, holy crap, who the heck are these Oxbow guys? And where we print wraps, it's like, man, a lot of people are throwing this Oxbow logo on their wraps. Like, what's going on here? And so it's interesting to me. I know it's never a light switch. You know, there's a lot of grind and hard work that goes into it, and then until it eventually starts to pay off.
Yeah.
But so we're gonna drill in and learn a little bit more about Oxbow and kind of the story of the company and what's exciting into the future, you know, for what Oxbow has cooking into the future. So
Yeah.
if we just start out, so how did Oxbow happen? The only thing I could find was like your first YouTube video you posted was probably 6 years ago. Does that seem right? On the Oxbow channel?
Let's see, that would have been
I think it was a light.
2018, 2016.
Yeah. Okay. So a little bit more.
Yeah.
So maybe 6 or 7 years ago.
Yeah, 2016 would have been the first video. I don't even know. Honestly, I don't even know if it's still up. It was pretty embarrassing. Like, I remember looking back at that first video, I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, we literally had like a vinyl banner in one of our bedrooms in our house that I was recording behind, you know, and just talking about our first light that we had done. So that's a lot of people don't realize that, you know, you say all of a sudden you start noticing us, and we get that a lot, especially in the snowmobile industry, because we started in lights in 2015 is when we started.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize that, and they come to our booth now, and they, you know, radios is really what put us on the map for most people in the snowmobile world.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
then people come to our booth and they see like, oh, you guys do lights too. It's like, we started with lights.
We've always been doing lights.
We just
Where
started doing radios.
been?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
So 2015 is kind of, so when was that? Like, let's go back in time here.
yeah.
Are you sitting somewhere, you got some paper, stroke of genius comes in, and boom, I should do this? Or like, how was that?
It was a desire for me to have the product. So what happened was I was kind of fresh out of college. I went to business school. I was really interested in owning my own business. I had actually started and ran several different businesses through college, and like I always was very interested in business and, you know, doing something along those lines. I was working for a tech company in Lehigh though, doing some digital marketing stuff, and I was single, so I had a lot of free time. I was out of college, and so I was dirt biking a ton, like riding, like, you know, I would take my dirt bike. I'd go early to work so I could get off early, and I'd take my dirt bike with me, and then, you know, 4 o'clock, get off work, go riding or whatever. And I was doing this like 3 times a week, and I just kept pushing my limits further and further into the mountains in the backcountry, to the point where it was like, you know, something goes wrong or whatever, you take a wrong turn, whatever it is, stuff would happen to where I'm like fumbling my way down the mountain in the dark because I didn't have a light on my bike. And I literally just, one of the times riding down the trail, I was just thinking about this. I was like, what's the solution? Because I didn't want to like mount a hardwired light to my bike. Like, I just wanted something simple and light. And I just had the idea, because I had GoPro mounts on everything. And I remember riding down the trail, I had the idea. I was like, I just want a light that I can just snap into my GoPro mount, just something to get me down the mountain.
Yeah.
You know? And I 100% intended to go home and just buy one that night. And I literally got home that night. I started Googling it, trying to find a light that went to a GoPro mount, and I couldn't find anything.
Mm-hmm.
And that was when, like, the light bulb went off, like, like, that could be a cool product, you know? And so my roommate at the time was an engineer, and so I partnered up with him, and that's where the first light came from. So we made the first light in 2015. It was like a year of, you know, getting the product launched and stuff. So I actually think, so we started the business in 2015. I think the first sale we took was 2016. And that's,
do you remember what the first sale was? Like, was it in person? Was it online?
No, it was online through Amazon, because again, like, we had developed this product and stuff, and we didn't have a ton invested into it.
Yeah.
Like, we'd kind of sourced a light and made this mount and stuff like that. And, I was like, I'm just going to throw this up on Amazon really fast, because that's, you know, I didn't have to build a whole website just to, like, test the market, you know, and, like, price point, everything, like, didn't know. So I had a digital marketing background, so I just put it on Amazon, threw up a Google ad for, like, you know, somebody searching for, like, dirt bike helmet light or something. And I remember it was actually the day I had listed on Amazon, maybe like an hour within putting the ads live, we had our first sale, and I was like, whoa, like, that was cool.
Oh boy, dopamine hit, baby, right there.
Yeah. But then it was like, you know, we had that first sale like right away, and then it was a pretty slow trajectory forward for that first like year. It was just like, I mean, we did hardly anything. But, you know, we both had full-time jobs. This was just kind of a side hustle. And when you're starting a new business, I don't know what your experience is like, but, like, when you're starting a new business, like, it's always easy to look back and see what it could become. But when you're starting it and you're putting all that work in initially, you don't know what return you're going to have on it, you know? So sometimes it's hard. Like, do I want to spend my Saturday working on this? I don't know what I'm ever going to get back from it, you know? And that's what a lot of people, that they don't see all that work that goes into it at the front, that you don't know as the business owner if it's really ever going to even go anywhere.
Yeah, and it's like a daily thing. You know, one day you're like, yeah, I'm in it. Like, we're gonna go crush. The next day, the doubts come in. You're like, what the heck am I doing?
Yeah,
oh, should I be doing this or that?
Yeah,
next day, you're like,
you look at the money.
It,
it's like, oh man, I've got so much money and time into this. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So first sale, compliments of Amazon.
Yep.
About a year, you know, later, takes about a year. You guys are grinding, wondering if, okay, should we be doing this? When was like the next stage of like, okay, like, no, we are doing this?
Yeah, we had a pretty slow start, because again, we were working full-time jobs and we were just, you know, busy doing other stuff too. So it was kind of a side hustle for a long time. And actually, after about a year after we had started, my business partner, he wanted out, and so I ended up buying him out. And again, at this time, it was like we were doing hardly anything in sales, and, like, you know, cash flow as a new business is really hard. And so it's like, I'm just trying to scrounge up enough money to run another inventory production, you know? And I remember, so I bought him out that fall, and then, like, I had, like, no money, and I had, like, I don't know, like 40 or something lights left in stock. And I remember going to the Boise Snow Show. That was our first show we ever did. And I was like, I just got to try this. You know, I just want to be able to, like, talk to people face to face, get customer feedback, all this stuff. I remember going up to the Boise show, and we sold out. And again, that
what
was
year
like,
was this?
It was probably
like 17.
I think it might have been 17. Okay. Yeah.
So you sold out at the Boise show.
So we sold out, and again, that was like one of those moments where it was just like, you know, inspiring. Like, oh, people are like, there is real interest in this, and we had tons of good feedback. People were like excited about it, you know. So that was super, super good, and it just helped us financially. Like, we had, you know, some more money coming in, even though it was a little bit, and enough to, you know, it was enough that we were able to do production again and keep it going. But that's what it was like for years. It was just trying to, like, keep the cash flow and trying to get enough money to make more product.
Yeah, and what a lot of people don't realize is, like, okay, I can go sell out. That money doesn't come into my pocket. Like, if I want to be able to sell more products, I got to put that money back in to the business and buy more product. And at some point, you're hoping, okay, at some point in the future, it's going to go like this, and there's going to be money there to, to go do other things with. But yeah, in the beginnings,
it's a cash flow challenge. Yeah,
it takes a certain type of person that can stomach that can put up with that can stay positive, and have that motivation to push through, because most people hit that wall, that first struggle, and they just shrink and go find something easier to do. And so with the struggles, like, what is there one in particular, like, that you can think back and remember, like, that was a really big challenge for us and we overcame it as a business?
For sure. That was last year. With the microphone issues. Yep.
I remember that.
I lost so much sleep over that. Like, it was miserable.
Yeah. You wouldn't have known by the YouTube video that you put out. I remember watching that YouTube video and thinking, oh man, I think this is kind of a big deal, but you were calm, cool, and collected. No one knows on the inside what was going on. So tell us about that.
So, we'd launched the new radios last year, and everything that we had done from the product development side, we thought we had bulletproofed it even more than the first radio.
Yeah.
And the first radio was really good. Like, we had very few issues with it. And we even took it a step further with things, So we thought this radio was going to be so solid.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we pitched it. We were selling it that way and yada, yada. And, the first big storms of the season hit, and it was the next Monday we get into the office and we had a dozen or so customers calling in or emailing or whatever, hey, my mic froze over. And we're like, what? Because we never had this problem before.
Yeah.
It was
one-off case.
That's what we thought. We were like, okay, this is just kind of a fluke. Maybe it was weird conditions or something. So we just kind of let it go. I was like, I don't really know what to make of this yet. And then the next weekend hits, and last year it was there's storms every week.
Every week, oh yeah.
And so the next weekend comes around, and that Monday morning, more customers calling in, their mics aren't working. I'm like, oh shoot. At this point, I'm starting to realize we might have something here. So we started reaching out to them all and okay, send us your radios back to us. And we started going through them, and
that's tough.
It was
because if that's their only radio.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is, I felt sick about it because literally people, I take it very seriously that people trust us to give them a product that gives them communication in the backcountry, which to me is a huge safety issue.
Yeah.
And so, they're trusting us with that, expecting it to be able to work in the elements that we say it works in, and we start having all these issues, and it made me sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, we started going to town with, radios that people were sending back and, talking to other people all over the place, trying to figure out what was going on. We're trying to replicate issues here in Utah. I literally, there was days on the snow where I'd take 4 radios on my backpack and I'd be riding with these 4 radios, trying to replicate the issue. And I personally could never get it to replicate. I couldn't get the issue to happen or whatever. But this issue just kept going on. Every Monday we'd get to the office and it was we'd have, a bunch of customers reaching out. It was a real problem. And just trying to figure out what was going on. Eventually, if you watch the videos and stuff, we figured out that it was the wind issue that was causing the problem with the design. Anyway, we were able to solve it and fix it all. And we were able to fix everybody's, radios and stuff, and took care of everybody.
You got a frog skin cover for it, ship those out to customers, right?
Yep. So it is a bulletproof radio now. We don't have those issues anymore. But yeah, for a while it was stressful.
Sometimes it just takes quantity of testing.
Yeah.
When you're trying to do new stuff in an industry.
Well, and that's the funny thing. So the first radio we had launched, it was actually just by luck or fluke that we had designed that radio to. So what happens is the old radio had the internal mic channel was offset from the microphone.
Oh.
And so when you apply wind to it, the wind couldn't blast the water through the internal membrane. But what we found is the new radios, it was more of a direct shot into the microphone.
So it was pushing moisture in.
You apply the wind, and the wind would blast it. Even though we had an internal membrane over the microphone, it would blast you get the wind funneled in there, and it would blast it through the membrane and freeze the mic. So we never considered wind when we were testing anything. Like, we were doing everything like spraying it with water, putting it in the freezer. Like, we'd do everything we could, but we had never factored in the wind factor.
Yeah.
And then, after doing tons and tons of testing, just trying to get to the bottom of it, literally like, a month and a half into the season trying to figure out what's going on, we finally figured out, it's the wind that's blowing it through. And it's more so when, when people would see ice on their mic, like, I would never blow on my mic. Like, I would just let it go there, and I could still talk with ice to it. But some people would see the ice build up, and they would blow on their radio. And what they're doing, they blow on the radio and it'd blast the water through the membrane. So anyway, we were able to figure that out and fix the problem. But it was a nightmare. It cost us a lot of money.
Yeah. I can only imagine the constant headaches coming from that. Oh, the sleepless nights.
Yep.
Yeah, well, it's good that it's a challenge that was overcomeable, right? So, and now we're past that. If you were to start Oxbow over again today, what would be some things you would do differently, do you think?
Obviously, like, I've learned a lot just in the product development side of things, and like, just how to make things better with like the mic issue, like stuff that we've learned along the ways that information could be very valuable going back in time. But honestly, like, as far as the business side, like, and I could definitely, knowing what I know now, I could grow the business faster than what it initially took us. So I could do it better, faster if I were to do it again. But honestly, like, I've loved the journey. Like, I love doing what I do, and there's not a whole lot that I would change. Like, it's been awesome.
So as far as like the marketing, because you guys are doing, I'm a marketing guy, so I like to take note of good marketing, and I've seen great marketing from you guys. Is that all from the brain of Clayton?
No, definitely not. So I'm more of actually like an analytical marketer. Okay. So like, my background was like the analytics side of things, the back end. Yes. Like analyzing like engagement and that sort of stuff. So Zach, he's the one that runs all of our social media, and he actually runs all of the Facebook ads and everything now. Okay. And he's killer at it. Like, he hits it home. Like, he does an awesome job.
Yeah. I've had a couple of conversations with Zach, and he was sharing with me some of the analytics you guys pull from sponsored athletes and riders on social media. It's next level.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are tracking stuff.
Yeah. We track stuff,
which is awesome.
And that's my background. Like, I like the data.
Yeah. That's cool. As far as snowmobile industry goes, would you say, have you always been in the snowmobiling space? Or,
I have. Well, I mean, as a customer and stuff, for sure. So I grew up snowmobiling. I always, I think every kid dreams of, doing something in the industry that they love. Yeah. And so that's been just that, like, I love that. But no, until Oxbow, I was always just a customer, just a snowmobiler at heart. And just, loved it that way. But I was never in it other than that.
Yeah. If you could, grab a magic wand here and wave it around, what would you change about the snowmobiling community? You guys go to a lot of shows.
We do go to a lot of shows.
You see the Midwestern snowmobiler crew. You see the out west crew. You were in Denver, right, a couple weeks ago. Yep. So you guys see and talk with a lot of sledders.
Dude, the snowmobile industry is awesome. Like, and I talk to my wife about this all the time and different people. Like, I just love the snowmobile community. Like, you go to Heydays, and there's people that come around the world to go to Heydays. Like, I don't know of many other industries that are like that, where there is like so much passion around a hobby.
Yeah.
Like, people are obsessed with it. People love it. They come from all over. They will travel all over. They spend so much money. Like, I mean, it is just like a part of our lives,
Yeah.
right? Like, and there's no other sport like it. Like, it's so fun, and it just hooks people, and like that. So that is really cool. That there's this like really strong, cool, tight knit community around snowmobiling, and even before I was in the industry, like you see a truck going down the road that's got a climb sticker on the back, you're like, oh yeah, there's a snowmobiler.
That's someone like me right there.
Yep, those are my people.
Yep.
So that's been really cool. I would say one thing I would change about the industry is increasing awareness for the battles that are going on with public land getting shut down. Like that's been a big issue, and I feel like a lot of people just don't pay attention to it. And there's a lot of money going into these groups that are shutting land down, and it's just like I feel like a lot of the community is just kind of blind to it.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I would change is awareness for that.
More awareness around that. Yeah, you would think there's enough businesses here, man. Everyone should be able to rally around that.
Yeah.
And put some good resources towards that.
Yeah.
Because that can cause a lot of fits for people.
Yeah.
Just like that. It's what's hard is like we're up in Idaho, and there's just so much open, backcountry public lands that we haven't felt a lot of it yet. I mean, there's like some trails getting closed down here and there, but yeah, we don't want that to change. So we got to fight for that stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
So, okay. The future of Oxbo, man, like we can snap right now. Let's go 3 or 4 years into the future. What are we most excited about Oxbo?
Some cool new products.
Yeah. Like,
I honestly don't want to talk too much about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Some of it, like we're working on some stuff that's going to be totally new to industry and everything.
Yeah.
Like again, like we came out with the Bluetooth radio and nobody had really done that before. We've got some new technology we're working on that nobody's done before that I'm really excited about. We're probably still a couple years down the road with that. But I mean that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Are you guys do you feel like you're in a pretty good cycle of product development and testing, and so you can kind of get a runway of like, okay, here's our runway for the next few years as far as new product production goes?
Yeah.
Or
I'd say we've gotten a pretty good amount of practice at it where it's gotten pretty consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. As far as products go, so we've talked about the early days of Oxbo with lights. We hit the snowmobile market really with a bang with the radios.
Yeah.
What would you say now are maybe your most popular 2 to 3 products that you do offer?
Yeah, that's interesting. So the first year of launching the radio, it became our best-selling product as far as just numbers of products.
Yep.
And it's still that way today. We sell more radios than we do of anything else, for sure. Yeah.
Okay, radio's number 1.
Yep.
You've got the Renegade,
the 2.0. The 2.0
and
is the
X,
best seller. Yeah, the 2.0 is the best seller. And then we've got the Bluetooth version. We still have I feel like we're still kind of we're working on the Bluetooth button for the radio, so that you can push the button on your handlebars and transmit through the radio, and comparing it with your intercom systems or headphones and stuff like that. But we haven't had the button out yet. So we've had that radio out for a year. The button's coming out in like another month and a half. And so I feel like that's kind of held a lot of people back from the Bluetooth. Is like, I'm going to wait till the button's out to really complete the set, But it has definitely been gaining some traction. Especially, it's actually opened a lot of doors in other industries like hunting and some of the off-road stuff. And definitely like the trail riders too are really interested in that.
Yeah.
So it's definitely starting to gain more traction.
Okay. And now with your Bluetooth capabilities, can you guys sync up with any Bluetooth capable mic and headset? So you have like, you know, you can go on Amazon and there's
Yeah.
a ton of different, Cardo is a brand, like just all of those.
So yeah, it's not 100%. Like we have big issues with Apple products, which includes Beats because Apple owns Beats. For the life of us, we cannot get it to pair with Apple stuff. So just be aware of that. If you've got Apple products, it's not going to work with our radio. But most things do work. Like most of the Cardos work. There's a few that don't. The U-Clears work. The Cenas work. Like a lot of the big name industry intercom systems work. You know, a lot of the Skull Candy earbuds, JLab earbuds, stuff like that works. I would say most products out there work, but there's a few out there that we do have issues pairing with.
Yeah.
And honestly, we keep talking about this. We haven't done it yet, but we need to post a list on our website of devices that work and don't work and that we've found so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be handy.
Yeah.
Cool. I've spent a few days on the snow with, I don't know if it was a Cardo. So, you know, we're usually just, you know, two-way radios. But when I've been on the snow with like that, you know, in the helmet headset system, and just being able to be linked with like 4 or 5 riders and you're just conversing while you're riding.
Yeah.
That's a game changer.
Yeah.
For some people, it's probably like, yeah, we've been doing that for a long time. But for me, it's like, you know, someone's out leading. Hey, watch out. There's this stump right here on the right. When you come up, hey, I'm going to dip over here and see what's going on over here. Having that instant communication while you're out riding is really cool.
Yeah, and you can hear while you're riding instead of like, you know, having to stop and say, hey, what did you say or whatever. Like,
it's in the helmet. You don't have to stop, just like you said. Yep. Yeah, that's a fun. That's really cool. I like that stuff.
Yeah.
So, as far as, you know, competitors go, you guys are going up against, you know, some brands that have been in the space for a long time, right? You've got your BCA products, the Link. I believe it's the Link radio. If I'm someone who hasn't purchased a radio yet and I'm, you know, weighing the options here, what would you say respectfully of like, this is why I would choose an Oxbow radio?
Yeah. I mean, we literally built it from the ground up for snowmobiling to handle the elements. Like that was our number one goal. The idea for the radio, so we had been manufacturing lights, and the idea from the radio came from a trip in Afton where we were using another brand's radios. I won't name names, but that day, like we literally had like 8 of the 10 radios had failed that day. Like it was either from, you know, batteries freezing and not working, or the mics freezing over, different issues. Like it just, by the end of the day, we had no communication.
Yeah.
And it was like, I remember literally getting home, getting into the truck, driving home and just thinking about it. I'm just like, man, there's got to be something better, like a better way of doing this. And that's when we went to the drawing board. And when we first started, you know, prototyping radios and figuring out what we wanted, we were also going to have like the whole mic and cable stuff coming over because that's what I knew. And then we went back to the drawing board. It's like, well, if I really like, you know, could build something from the ground up, if I could have my dream radio, what would that look like? And as we started thinking about it, it's like, I actually hate the mic because every time I want to recharge the battery, change channels, figure out why the radio's not working, I have to dig into my Avi bag, pull everything out to see what the heck is going on, you know? And so I was like, that would be really cool if we just have the whole radio on the shoulder. And if the radio could withstand the elements, because that was, you know, that was the issue, is like radios can't handle that. The battery's exposed and you have everything exposed, the screen, everything up there. Like your standard radio can't handle a snowmobiler in the backcountry. And so that's where we started, you know, developing the product so that the whole radio could sit on your shoulder and take the abuse. And so that's really like, that was, you know, when we launched the radio, that was the big advantage that we wanted to push, was you don't have to route into your Avi bag anymore. Like the simplicity of having the whole radio on your shoulder is just awesome experience. But then, you know, we did, like, we have a significant better battery life than the competition. We don't have the mic, you know, except for some issues last year. We don't have the mic freezing issues. It's just a better radio. We get better range, all that kind of stuff. So, and they are 100% compatible. That's one question we get all the time. Like, hey, if my buddies are on a different brand, BCA, whatever, like, are they compatible? And that was one thing we did from the start, is making sure they are 100% compatible, all the same sub channels, stuff like that. So
Smart.
So that you can communicate with all the other industry radios.
Yeah. Cool. I like it. So in a nutshell, it's like from the very beginning, we were designing this for snowmobilers.
Yeah.
This radio.
Yeah. And you look at BCA has launched their new radio they're coming out with, and they're copying what we've done because it has worked so well. And the market has responded to that so well. So it's been really cool. It's been fun.
Yeah. What's that saying? The imitation is the greatest form of flattery. Is that what it is? Or did I say that backwards? Oh boy, I'm on the spot here. It works out.
We know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So back to, I made a comment earlier on. Okay, so we print a ton of wraps. We see a ton of, we've seen a ton of Oxbo stuff come through. Okay, so you guys have an athlete program.
Mm-hmm.
Athlete, ambassador, do you have different tiers?
We do.
So are you able to talk about those tiers, or is that more of a Zach?
It's definitely more Zach.
Zach
I mean,
handles,
he literally
handles
manages
the program.
He manages the whole program, runs that. I'll say it's been super fun. Like, it's just been awesome experience to like work with all the ambassadors and athletes. And we did a huge ambassador ride last year.
Heard a lot about that. This guy's had a
dude. It was the
hoot.
highlight of my winter. Like, it was so fun. So we did 3 days of ride and did a night ride. Oxbow style.
Have to be a night ride, right?
Yes, had to be a night ride. And the crazy thing is, like, we went to a new area that only like 2 people out of the 24 riders that were there that night had ridden the area. So we're going into the night, like, riding a brand new area to most of us. And it was
what could possibly go wrong?
In like 2 feet of fresh powder, you know, and it was a blast. Like, we had so much fun. And then we did 2 other days, like, in the day, but it, like, every night it was snowing like 1 to 2 feet. So it was just refills every day, and it was just awesome.
Everything just timed perfectly for you guys.
Getting to know all the different athletes and stuff, and we take customer feedback and athlete feedback very serious on our products, because that's like, it's valuable information. Like, how can we improve our stuff? These are the people that are on the snow. They have different experiences than us, and we take that very seriously. So we had a really good meeting with all of our ambassadors on their wish list on product stuff or features and issues that they've had with different products and how we can improve upon that and stuff. And so it was really cool. But sorry, that's kind of all roundabout, I guess. We get back to your question. Yeah, we've got different tiers of athletes.
How do I get invited to the Oxbo team ride? Like I've got to be an ambassador or a sponsored rider. Like, what does someone have to do? Because, we're in the same space as well. There's a lot of, hey, what can you do for me?
Yeah.
Give me a discount. Give me a discount.
Yeah.
Right? The good ones know how to do it right.
Yeah.
They are, if both parties are going in thinking, I've got to provide more value to the other person than I'm taking from them, that's a great collaboration.
Yeah.
And so, I guess, what are some of those things that you guys look at as far as a person?
One of the big things is just, one of it is just content. Like, it's hard to constantly be coming up with content to post on social media.
Yes.
So, like, quality content, like, if ambassadors can send that to us or just be posting it on their own page, like, that's gold.
Yeah.
So that's really awesome. But then just, I don't know, just being an influence out there to people, like, because a lot of people, especially if you're new to the sport, like, you want to know, like, what gear do I need, you know? So having people out there that are like, hey, this is my experience with Oxbo, or this is my experience with this product or whatever. And we always tell them, like, I want them to be genuine. Like, I don't want them, putting on a face for stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and we always, we try to make sure our product can stand behind, what people are saying.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we've got different tiers. So I think if you want to know, like, kind of details, it's kind of the standard is we require like 1,000 followers on, whatever social media channel you're
Okay.
looking at, if it's Instagram, Facebook. We do make exceptions if you have other influence, but we do want, our ambassadors to have some sort of influence in the
Yes.
industry.
And that's a good base. Like, here's a baseline. Here's some, if you're not there yet, here's a goal to go shoot for.
Yeah.
Right. So you're weeding out a lot of, I don't know, riff-raff, if that's the right word, but you're okay, here's the bar right here.
Yeah.
Gotta
And
get to the
we
bar.
look at engagement too, because, there are some people out there that will just buy a bunch of followers and
That's true. Yeah. I can go
They've
get it. We
got
can go get
terrible
1,000
engagement.
followers right now, right?
Yeah. But it was like, if they're, a bunch of bots or something, like, we don't really care for that.
Yeah.
So,
And that's easy to tell. So we're in the same shoes. Super easy. If you've got 10,000 followers and I go to your posts in your feed, and you've got 1 or 2 comments, and that's it on all of them, and it's like, hey, promote this on this page.
Yeah.
Not true, like genuine comments.
Yeah.
Red flags.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
Like you should have engagement comments if you've got that following.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yep.
people trying to, sneak one through there, it's getting a little bit more tricky to do that. But
yeah.
so you're looking at, there's a baseline of follower count, so level of influence, and then what kind of quality is your influence? Are your followers? Are they engaging
Right.
with what you're doing?
Yep.
Okay. Anything else you guys are looking for specifically?
Yeah, I mean, there's a list, and I can't remember all the details. Like I said, this is Zach's
sure.
territory. But yeah, I know
Just
there's a
see if
few things.
Zach right back. Let's see.
Zach,
Zach, what's
come
that
over.
list?
We post it on the website every year, though. So
There you go.
the
Okay, that's
winter
smart.
applications are, through September. It closes end of September. We do make exceptions out there, so if you miss the boat, you can always reach out to Zach on social
Sure.
media or something and see if there's interest there.
Okay.
But we do, we post the list of qualifications and stuff that we're looking at.
Yeah.
So people, we're open about it.
Yeah, that's smart. We should actually probably do that. I'm gonna steal that one from you guys. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. So we're gonna move into the lightning round here.
Okay.
So a couple toughies here for Clayton today.
All right.
But you guys know the drill. So the first one is Clayton's got a brand new snowmobile. Clean, right from the dealership. What are you gonna go put on that machine? So you get 3. Your first 3 things you're
3
gonna
mods.
do. Your first 3 mods. We've never had anyone say nothing. I just ride stock.
Yeah.
Which that can be an answer too. But
Yeah.
but
Okay.
what are 3 things
All
you'd
right.
go do?
Hot pot.
Ooh, I like it.
Oh yeah.
You gotta
have the hot
Yeah,
pot.
you gotta have the hot pot. You gotta get the hot pockets.
Yes.
Get your
Gotta
hot
be
pocket
cooking
game.
on the mountain.
Okay.
I like a toasty lunch.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. I think it kind of depends on the snowmobile.
Yeah.
You know, I'm actually eyeing the new Catalyst quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a turbo guy, which they don't have the turbo yet. So if I were to get the Catalyst, I'd be throwing a turbo on there.
Mhm.
So that'd be one mod. If it's not the turbo, or if it's not the Catalyst, if say it's a Polaris, I'd be putting a can on there.
Okay.
So that'd be another mod. Tunnel bag
Put
for
it on a
sure.
little diet right there. Okay, and
Yeah.
storage.
Yeah, storage.
So
Absolutely.
you've got feed me something good,
Yep.
put me on a diet,
Yep.
and allow me to pack some more weight
Yes.
in the storage.
That's right.
There we go.
Transfer the weight from the front to the
From the
back.
front to the back. There we go. Okay. All right. So the last question number 2 is, this is the tough one here. Okay. This is, what do we not know about Clayton?
This is
that
a
we
tough
need to
one.
know
I'm
about
not,
Clayton.
I'm not that interesting. Oh man. A lot of people don't realize that I didn't get into dirt biking until college.
Okay.
So we started the business around, off of a dirt bike,
Yep.
more related product. And that was kind of a new thing to me. Like I picked up dirt biking in college and got super passionate about it. But it was new to me.
That was it. So it was
Yeah.
just wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Consumer straight to, okay, I love this stuff. I got to go figure out a business within this space.
Yeah. Well, like we talked about, like it kind of came to me as an idea of like just solving a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't necessarily looking for a business in the space, which, I can't complain about. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome. But yeah.
Solving that problem.
Yep.
Well, cool. Clayton, so where should people go? We just got to go follow. It's Oxbow Gear
Yep.
on the socials. You guys are active on. Oh my goodness, I forgot about this one. We should have brought Zach in here.
We should have brought Zach in here.
You guys did a reel that I showed my kids so many. We watched it over and over. It was the most hilarious thing ever.
Which one is it?
The one where.
Where's my dad? I'm all alone. I'm too small to be here on my own.
There's very few of those where I'm like, that was creative, and that was awesome.
That is
So,
awesome.
Anyways, nice job, Zach, on that one. So
he gets the applause for that.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time figuring out social posts.
Yep.
For sure.
Okay, so Oxbow Gear, oxbowgear.com.
Yep, oxbowgear.com. All of our social media handles is just Oxbow Gear.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And we're on the TikTok, Instagram, Facebook,
All of them.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, we'll close this down. Show's starting to wind down a little bit here in Utah. Appreciate Clayton coming on and talking about all the cool stuff Oxbow's doing.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I
Thanks,
appreciate
boss.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see ya.
We'll see you.